hello. Welcome to Jarviskjir. I was about to say Thursdays, but it's Wednesdays. Hey, hello there. Welcome to Jarviskjir. This is episode 30. Wow. How the time flies. I've dealt with Scott for a long time now.
Longer than that.
And I know. It really makes you think about
And I remember
priorities in life.
He'd met some strange American online. He was moonlighting to see him. It was weird.
Ha! Ha!
You're promised so much and everything fails to deliver. I've been there.
It was 7 episodes into Eberron before he told Ollie that he's married.
He got me under false pretenses. Anyway. Hey! I was going to say something. Oh, the show's going to be of a higher quality today because Scott usually goes away to cook during the breaks. And we now have him doing what is it? A pot roast? So
It's pot. No, what do they call it? Crock pot.
Crack pot.
Crock pot.
That's
doing
what the
a-
device using to cook. What's inside of it?
Yeah, what are you cooking?
Pork. It's pork.
Pork is good.
Honestly, my wife said there's meat in there, and I looked and I said pork. Okay, I'll grab some seasonings and stuff and make it happen.
It's a pork pot.
Pork pot.
Yeah.
Pot pork.
Yeah.
I can go with that.
Pork.
So, we have the whole group. And for the first time in the season?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so. Which is great. So everything can go horribly wrong or horribly right, as the case may be. I don't know. I feel like we haven't started yet, but we totally have. I need to get it. I need to get into my groove. I haven't had the usual coffee enema that gets me in the D&D mood.
Keeps you looking young and fresh.
Yeah.
It's also a rare event to start this stream, like not.
I think that's it. I think it's because I tried to start it actually on 7 on the dot, and that's kind of broken my brain a little bit. Usually there's like an extra 5 to 10 minutes of prep
I'll help
time.
you out, Ollie.
Listen, to be fair, the reason why it doesn't start on time is usually because like I'm doing something and then gonna get in here,
Scott.
and this time we
It's always Scott.
the call. It's so much better. So
And we're not talking about random things like
Yeah.
anus hemorrhages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not yet.
Absolutely.
I'll help you out with this one. I'll do the episode recap for last week.
Sure.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
I think Dean should.
It
I
was
honestly,
filler.
I think it's test time. Dean should give us the recap.
Yeah. Go on, Dean. What happened last episode?
So the episode opened up with Gilwyn being taken by Archlord, Mage, Archlord, Sparrow.
Edgelord Sparrow.
And then I killed somebody with a giant axe, and then I yelled the boy to. I was playing God of War the whole time I was watching, so I didn't really pay attention. It was just kind of, that's all I remember.
You got the beginning. So
Can I kick him out of this?
no, boy. So what happened is that Gilwyn disappeared into magic, and you basically spent the whole episode trying to find him. Turns out he was taken by Archmage Sparrow, one of the heads of the Illusion Guild, to perform at the ball. You then ended off the session. The session ended up with you are in a park in Bastillion. And there are actually quite a few of parks or open spaces you can walk and shop and stuff. And Snowball, the ferret, bounded up to the party and gave you your tickets, 4 tickets to the College of Illusions ball. And that's where we ended off.
Awesome.
We
Yeah,
do
I
have
remember
to go
that.
find Vale now.
Vale's with you.
Oh, he's with us? Okay, cool.
I don't remember what Vale was. Oh, Vale, you were
We
moping.
left him.
I wasn't doing
Yeah,
anything.
I think
Yeah.
it was
I
mentioned
was
that he met back up with us at the end.
Yeah, I think you did meet back up just at the end.
I was specifically excluded from the friends shopping activity.
You were, as your punishment
because
for talking
they
about
all
cannibalism.
judged me.
Yeah,
Now-
that's
now Gil's
basically
back,
what
that's
happened.
Yeah,
I think it was less about the cannibalism and more like he like insulted Haven's intelligence, and Haven was like, "Would you eat me?"
oh no, I wouldn't eat Haven.
Bitch, that happened.
We're not having this conversation again.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's not do that.
So you all meet up. You've got
No,
the
let's see
tickets.
what's
The
fine.
tickets are of a they're actually a slightly fabric-y sort of parchment. and they have a little bit of a sheen of lime magic to them. But they are what. But you actually know what the tickets look like, Amelia. They are definitely the real deal.
They've
Also,
got a sheen of illusion magic. They're actually just clamored shits.
yeah.
Archmage is like, yeah, you can have one as well. Oh, great! Wow.
Pretty much.
Yeah, no, I'll just give them to the party members. Maybe hold on to Melodies.
I was gonna say.
And Haven.
She doesn't have pockets.
I give one to Vale.
She has,
Enough for everybody.
hands.
Yeah, enough for you guys.
This is going to be great. You know what she said? He turns to Haven. She said, "You're not invited." We are now.
I'm not invited. Aren't I supposed to be the one that's protecting him?
Haven, you were not listening. She said to us that we are not invited. Motions at Melody, you were there, weren't you? Yeah. Motions at all three of us. We were not invited, but now we are.
You weren't invited? By
No,
who?
nothing. Unrelated entirely.
Oh, I get it now.
I don't.
Oh, it's a long story. It involves, well, I mean, if you want to start from the beginning, a rat.
I remember that part.
I get that reference.
Yeah, Haven just lets it sit there. He actually doesn't.
So, anything else you want to do? Basically, getting to that side of the city again will take you the better part of a day. The ball the rest of the day. The ball starts basically when it starts getting dark. You might want to dress up.
I was just about to say that. If we are going to a ball, we should probably dress the part. He looks at Melody.
Melody actually has not noble wear, but smart wear that she can wear.
She
I think
would
courtesy
need,
of-
she would need Amelia's help to like look.
Buttons. She doesn't get the buttons.
No. Buttons?
Aw.
What, are
What
those
are the buttons
edible?
up for? That's so cute.
Not in the part. Not right now. Let's not get changed here.
Well,
Yeah, no, you can find somewhere to get
Obviously.
changed. That's
Dodgy alley.
yeah. Well, it's Vastilian. Everywhere's a little dodgy.
I
Yeah,
don't.
no, I'd probably take Melody like with me up to my rooms, or we can go,
Mm.
like where you guys are staying. Doesn't matter.
I don't
They
think I have any.
you
Where have you been sleeping?
You were you did you just they stayed somewhere nowhere near here,
Yeah, yeah.
but it would be on the way. You could do that. You can get changed into better clothes. Vale, you
Yes.
don't have noble wear, but I think this came up before in that your armor is extravagant enough to pass for noble wear, but it is still armor. It's not like you're gonna. It's not like it's pretend that you aren't in armor. Hmm?
It's got like scroll cases and
Yeah, but it's so extravagant. It
Yeah.
it would blend into this kind of
the
party.
finery of Yeti fur.
Yeah, exactly. It's also got a story to it, which people like. Haven, similar. Actually, his clothes are of high quality, but he just trekked through a mountain with them, so they are tattered and worn and muddy. But they are of high quality, and if they were
could
fixed up,
probably
which you
give
could
them a
actually,
wash.
if you had a wash and amend, because
The
it's
city of
Bastilian.
magic. Surely someone's offering amend for a.
It's a thing where you're in a market sort of area right now. It is literally a market stall of like a woman who just casts mending on clothing to fix it. You could just get that for like, let's say 2 silver.
Would prestidigitation that one not work?
No one here has it, I think, anymore. You're not there.
No, but
Well, that would clean the mud off, but what I'm more saying is that he trekked over a mountain. He's been wearing this outfit for like a month and a bit.
so it's
It
all
is
like,
now worn and
Yeah,
it's not. It is of good quality, but it is not of the brilliant quality
Yeah.
that
You
Neil's
need, like,
clothing
mending,
is basically could be
got a couple
argued
of
as
rope
masterwork,
holes in it.
right? Neil's
I gotcha.
clothing can handle all of that. Haven's, it just looks tattered and worn, but if you go to this person, get it fixed up for 2 silver, you'll pass, but you'll still look like a bodyguard, but that's fine.
Haven's perfectly fine with not wearing armor and wearing clothing. It's just he doesn't realize that that's something that needs to happen. So
I imagine this conversation's happening, so
Yeah, Vale would encourage you to use the mending services available.
sure. And it's kind of like goes and
Go over, give 2 silver, waves the hand over your clothing for a little bit. Not on you, you have to take it off, which means you're standing cold in your privies for a bit. They have a tent.
So in the end, it ends up changing, like, in the market square instead of a bar.
Haven might start taking it off in the market square, actually, knowing Haven.
No, I mean, he's been on the surface enough that he's probably been scolded for that enough.
Yeah, I think the only reason Melody wouldn't have started changing the parts is probably because he scolded her for it.
It's happened before, yeah. So you and your clothes come back to you again, clean, fixed, and like it reminds you of when you first met him. He blended in perfectly well with the nobles, but because of the color and the brilliance of the outfit, because it was made by Gilwyn's dad or bought by Gilwyn's dad. Now Amelia, his color of clothing actually brilliantly makes him look like he is some sort of member of the House of Enchantment.
Huh.
Because that is the very exact same color of this dark turquoise they use. So just like how people glance at you and they assume you're from the College of Abjuration, now that he's cleaned up, he looks like he's from the College of Enchantment. Less so because he's in full armor as well, but...
That's amusing.
Just so you know.
I'll probably let the party know about this in case it comes up.
That's a good plan, actually. Amelia, in regards of weapons, what could we take into the ball? I mean, I can take a couple, I would presume. A sword at one side isn't really thought of as particularly aggressive, but he motions at the abundance of weapons. The longbow that is clearly designed to have the stopping power that you can punch through metal armor.
Yeah.
The pole arm on Haven, the war weapons.
I will just straight say, at this point, being 5th level adventurers, pretty much global etiquette in most places, anything more than a weapon for show, like, you could walk in with a sheathed sword, short sword, fine. Haven might get away with the pike, polearm, whatever it is, but it's because there's no real easy way for him to sort of put that away. He's always going to be standing with it, which you would be allowed in, but it would unnerve people. Bastillion is in most places fine with this sort of display of weaponry, but this is a formal event, so very much if you wanted to blend in more, you would want to pack up most of your weapons, and Haven's polearm will probably have to go in a bag. What you could actually totally do, just telling you, Amelia's purse of holding, if you take a little bit of time, you just slide the whole thing in.
Yeah.
Just,
there you go.
Melody's spears probably.
Could you repeat that, Ollie?
Amelia's purse of holding, because she has a bag of holding, but it's a very small one.
It's a portable hole.
The pike could just slide right in.
Shut up, Scott.
In that case, Vale would request, if he could, if I could place my weapons in your little purse instead of leaving them in your room, that would be more preferable to me.
Yes, of course.
Oh, also a thing, usually while you're traveling around, you're carrying around backpacks, all your gear. Obviously, in a formal situation, you wouldn't be doing that. You would leave your stuff in, like you just said, Amelia's room.
Oh, well, there's no point putting my weapons in there then. I'll if we're going to be leaving our backpacks, I'll leave it all in Amelia's room, if that's...
Yeah, you could get away with a side bag of a couple of things, but your like adventurer's kit's more or less.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna keep like, what will it come to? It'll be like my ball bearings.
Yeah,
some
stuff that you can easily... I'm not going to police this too hard because I don't even bother with weight rules. But like stuff you can easily fit in a pocket. Your armor very much was designed with pockets. Same with Haven's. Same with Melody's. Amelia doesn't have pockets, unfortunately, but she does have.
So
a purse.
Haven's weapons are like a very functional pick, a very functional hammer, a very functional pike. Like nothing of show. So realistically, it's one of those like, literally like everything's just made for function, zero fashion. So he's going in unarmed.
Cool.
But luckily armored, so call that a win, I guess.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you've seen that these guards in there have weapons if you wanted to take them, and hey, you know what? You can always use your surroundings.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Vale's gonna. He'll offer. If you want a sword by your side, I have a spare rapier or short sword.
Yeah. Okay.
He'll
good idea.
proffer. Take your pick.
He will pick up the short sword and he like swings it like hard, like he's chopping like down a tree or something.
Like a machete.
Then he picks up the rapier and does the same thing with it for a moment, and he's like, "This one makes a fun sound." Grabs the sheath for it, shink, puts it in his side.
And him with the rapier on his side totally looks the part. He looks like a local, actually, more or less. Aside from not a tiefling, but then there are humans here.
Right,
Occasionally.
So for eat, I'm going to keep the comet blade by my side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also going to leave a dagger in my boot because I've got a boot sheath.
Yes.
And I'm going to leave my fire powder gun in its holster on my leg because I don't think enough people will know that.
It looks more like a side bag to people who don't know what a gun is.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like a little weird handle in a leather pouch.
Melody, I assume just all your stuff is going away.
Yeah, everything that Melody has.
But Melody is the weapon. So.
Yeah, Melody is the weapon. I take my healing potions out of my bag. That's about all I could take.
You just like sort of put them on your person and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because your healing potions aren't even in glass anyway. They're in like water skins and stuff and a jump.
They're probably hidden under the clothing somewhere.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you definitely have pockets because your armor was actually designed to be worn.
Well, no,
by
I wouldn't
deadless.
be. I wouldn't be armored though, would I? Because I'd be having to wear the fancy.
Oh
clothes.
yes, but let's say you could. Your only thing you're carrying is your health potions. You can absolutely carry your health potions around. Yeah, you don't have pockets because you're wearing a smart woman's clothing.
Yes.
No pockets for ladies. Sorry, not allowed.
Get to take my.
It's a fantasy world, but it's not ridiculous.
Ollie.
So,
if I said that, it would be offensive, but Ollie says it and it's cute and funny.
There are differences between you and I.
I assume that Tune is getting left behind as well.
Well, actually, Tune, that's entirely up to you. People in the city don't have an issue with him.
As Melody would turn to Amelia and just be, Amelia, will Tune be let in?
Would Toon be let into a fancy party?
Like I said, he's had no issues before so far. People bring familiars all the time. People bring pets all the time. It's like a +1. So you could probably get away with it. You might have to. It'll be a talking point. It's a two-headed dog. That's as smart as Haven, but
+2.
Yeah, let's bring him.
Awesome.
So
Melody just
to clarify, he's gonna tuck his parrying dagger into the boot sheath.
Yeah.
Comet blade at side.
Pistol.
And pistol at the other.
Great. All right. And you head across the city to the ball. Like I said, you went from you have to go from the middle to one of the sides. It's quite easy to get around Bastillion, especially because you're basically just going back the way you came. As you go, it goes from sort of noon, slowly over to evening. It's actually snowing quite heavily. It's sort of thing where it's sort of half snow, half rain. It changes every couple of minutes. It can't quite decide whether it's doing one or the other. Because it's not the coldest day in Jarviskjir right now. Because you are, you're in Zafra, so it's not the coldest month. But you head back over, and it's different on the outside, but not dramatically. There is more of a crowd on the place where the stairwell bridge that goes to the College of Illusion. There's more of a crowd than there was before. But mostly it's people talking. There's a couple of people selling things like flowers to put on your lapel and stuff like that.
Actually, I'll. Ooh, the kind of flowers that they have here, are there like any like super unique regional flowers?
You don't recognize many of them, but then you aren't a. It's one of those things where you go up and be like, if you go up and you actually show interest to this little shop. They would start explaining like, well, this one's meant to be a ward for protection. This one's meant to be give you good luck in love. This one, like, each of them have a little meaning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely for when I see him, because I haven't seen him yet. Need the protection one for Dean.
Yeah, little
Definitely
little
need the
white.
luck and love for our little friend over there. You know, and so on. Like if there's meaning.
You get ones. So let's say you get one for wisdom and intellect for Amelia. You probably get one for strength or something for Melody. Yeah.
If there's one to show like adoration, I'd actually get that one for Melody.
Yeah.
Aw.
You will have these varied, slightly magical flowers that you can.
This is when he goes 10 gold, and I'm like,
for the it's not that much. I was only going to charge you very little, but considering you're buying a bunch, let's say 1 silver. But again, which is it is a lot, but you're adventurers.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing to you. It's a lot to a common person. But then also, this is a ball for the rich folk.
Haven would have been like, yeah, that's all right, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he wouldn't have even questioned it.
yeah, just handed the money over. I mean, I understand currency now, but go ahead.
Yeah. So there's a few people who are drifting in, and the gate is open, but the guards are checking, and there's more guards than before. There's 4 now at the door, but they are dressed slightly more elaborately. They all have masquerade masks. The guests that stroll in are dressed beautifully in extravagant clothing, mostly tieflings that you see. But you're just seeing people sort of filter in up the stairwell. It's not like there's a constant queue or anything, but this is clearly some of the first people who are arriving. And you can already hear like the booming bass of music. Not even the full music. You can just hear like parts of it drifting down from the college. So do you go up and present your invitations?
Yeah.
So you go up.
Behind Amelia, though.
Yeah, I mean, I assume Amelia's holding 3 of the 4 invitations.
Right.
You go up, and it's actually Bryce at the doorway.
Oh, the good chap.
Who's like, and vaguely recognize Amelia, but like clearly, and you can see his eyes through the mask. He clearly looks at Haven and like actually smiles a bit. It's like, wasn't expecting you to be at the ball, and like checks your invitations, but then it's not even like it's like a nod and just waves you through. It's like, well, have a nice evening.
I'm gonna slip him a gold piece as we go past.
Cool. He smiles at that and gives you an actual like a bow, which amuses some of the other people because these people are famed for being bards and performers and stuff. So it's always with a bit of a flourish. And you can walk through. This time you have actually a good amount of time to admire the garden outside, and some of the trees and plants are wrapped with garlands and tinsel and things. And it doesn't even seem to be snowing as much in here, even though that doesn't make sense. And then you can walk easily through into the foyer, and then, unlike before, you can completely easily stroll into the what's it called? The ballroom. And this large circular ballroom. You've seen the spire. It is a big circular spire with a side one coming off. The spire, the central spire of the base of it is a vast ballroom with one big pillar in the middle that is decorated with these brilliant. Again, they don't really make a scene, but just very eclectic, colorful shapes. And they're on all the walls, mostly this main spire. There's actually a bar around the middle of the spire, and then this very big chamber with a huge ceilings. And it's one of the things where the ceiling does have, again, designs on it. It's not like the Sistine Chapel or whatever, but there's art here. And on the northern side, so on your left as you enter, is a vast stage. A very big, very dramatic stage where actually there are set pieces to make this look like it's a kind of looks like Goldport, actually. Vaguely. There's like a little bit of water. There's a fake ship that looks like people can stand on. Actually, on the ship right now is someone playing a accordion, who's playing the sort of the music you guys can hear right now. And then there's mock buildings and palisades and things of fake buildings. The ball is clearly in the starting stages. There are people milling about, but mostly it's there are people here, but there are people going like, oh, okay, let's have a conversation before the actual ball starts. And then there are the servers who are mostly the same as the guards or wearing very similar clothing, who are like rushing a bunch of bottles to the bar in the middle and stuff like that. And they are wheeling in a grand piano as well to put it on the table, on the desk. The desk? Stage. I went through all the words to get there.
That's okay.
So you walk in here, you aren't given any trouble. You look the part. You do notice the receptionist from the first time you guys went there, a half-elf girl, is in the bar who is like talking to someone about about drinks, and does notice you, and is just sort of like a, oh, and actually goes probably to tell someone that, oh no, these people are here.
Well, I wonder whether the bar is free, and Vale is going to go and find out.
Do you just go over and ask? Oh,
Are the drinks complimentary?
Oh, absolutely, sir. Well, what would you like? We've got just about a little bit of everything.
He's gonna peruse with his fingers in his mind's eye.
There's a lot of elvish alcohol.
He's gonna go for
a lot of elvish
high
wines.
elven wine.
Yeah. But there will absolutely be high elven wine. It's one of the things that you just know. You know, finest quality wine is elven wine. In a place like this, they care about that. You know, you're getting the high elf wine. You order a glass and they fill it up. You know where it's like technically you're meant to fill a glass like that much, but everyone goes like an extra like quarter or third above. They do that. It's like a very generous glass.
All right,
and
listen. Let me talk to you about liquor cost, okay? Because this is a serious issue. Like, do you want to go into the conversation?
It is everything is for a reason, Mr.
I'll
Scott.
come back with my glass of wine then. Smiling.
It's also, and also I should point out, it is a glass. Not all that often do you guys have glasses.
It's usually wood or what?
It's usually wood, or usually you drink mud out of a metal goblet or even a mug in a poor place. You know, this is an actual clean crystal glass.
So when Vale was like, I'm gonna find out about the alcohol, at the same exact time, I would have, like, right as he started to walk off, I would have nudged Melody and been like, let's see if we can find them, and like walked off another direction to see if we can start finding Gil.
So you
follow,
three leave, and Vale turns it back and goes back with his wine, and you're not there. And you're like,
He just stood by himself like.
so you've immediately lost them, and it is busy enough that you have lost them, especially as people are starting to filter more in. Haven, where'd you go trying to look for him?
Honestly, so Haven's not very bright and not super familiar with these kind of areas, and he's a little privileged because who he's worked for in the past. So looking around, if I figure I'll make one check, and if my check fails, and I imagine it will, I'll climb up on stage. And
so you're doing like a perception check, like a sort of what's going on, what's on.
I'm looking around as well.
I can do that's legit Amelia's response as well. Like he starts climbing, she just goes, oh,
both of you give me a straight perception for this.
Whoa, my armor class is 210,000. Why did that happen?
Well, that doesn't matter.
That is not canon.
That is not.
I knew Sentinel was good, but it's not that good.
No. All right, let me roll my perception.
You're gonna get better than me.
I love when Roll20 glitches out. It's so funny. It's like the time one of my friends rolled an E. You know, like the theoretical number. It's like, how did that happen? That doesn't even. How does that?
Ooh, I actually rolled well.
You rolled really well. Obviously, you Haven figure out that if he's gonna be anywhere, he's gonna be on the stage. And then you notice that, like a theater stage, there are two sort of on each side sort of areas where you can go behind stage, and you sort of, it's more listening than anything. You hear strumming of one of Gilwin's songs off the side of the stage.
So definitely, like, hearing that, like, I will climb up on stage and start walking up back to see. Again,
you climb on the stage, and the people who are pushing the grand piano up onto the stage, a lot of the people who are doing the sort of heavy lifting and stuff are those same people you saw before who have like a cloth mask over their face and sort of drift around in robes. They don't acknowledge you, but one of the sort of attendants is just like, huh, hold up. What are you doing up here? You aren't meant to be on the stage, and like looks you up and down. And then Melody, I assume, climbs up on the stage too. And then Tune is like pulls himself up.
I'm gonna
by the
say,
front legs.
yeah, I am, and then just keep walking to.
Give me a persuasion roll. That's actually good enough. Maybe, you know.
Go on, that's 20, please.
You got to try. You got to allow it.
I agree. I mean, this is what I say. Do it with enough confidence, and people will just be like, "Oh yeah, definitely."
Yeah,
You know what? Actually, for considered clothing you're wearing and just the attitude and the type of people you're dealing with who are not paid for this shit, it's just a sort of like a. And they just let you three go. Amelia, do you follow them as well?
Yes.
Let you guys just waltz over the stage, very obviously to everyone in the ball who's sort of on this half of the chamber. On the other half of the chamber, you're clearly not paying so much attention to.
I imagine it's another case where Amelia follows behind, like apologizing.
Yeah, you see them when they're up there, Vale. You do actually, behind stage, there's a vast sort of wooden area where they've got all these set dressings and a bunch of bards. And one of them is Gilwyn, actually wearing new, very extravagant clothing. What is essentially a suit. It's not armor. It's essentially a sort of tiefling style Bastilian suit with it actually has like his arms free and then like all these things here with the green accents of the illusion court. Very fine quality clothing and they feel great.
You're gonna walk right
feel the
past
thread
him
count.
and just start checking the corners of the rooms, make sure it's safe. Like literally ignore him and walk right.
There's a
past
bunch
him.
of people in
Ahead,
the room,
Ian.
but no one who looks like a guard or threatening. They're bards.
In contrast, Melody goes straight up to Gil and goes for a hug if he lets her.
Yeah, of course.
Melody, missed you, Gil. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Was worried.
Oh, nah. She's fine. I've just been sat here practicing.
Have you been able to find anything out?
Ollie?
You know what I told you before on Skype.
She's definitely not as spooky as she seems for someone who just takes somebody and teleports away. She's nice. She's fine. I've been mostly here. She hasn't really spoken to me that much.
But what about your mother and the key?
Only unless I'm
The
saying...
deal was that you perform for the key, more or less.
Right.
You perform for the key and whatever's in your room. You just get to keep it.
If I do well, I get to go and take a look inside. I don't think they'll give me the key forever, but they'll let me go inside.
Okay. Did you sign anything? Was that just a verbal agreement?
Just verbal.
Don't sign anything without me looking over it.
Okay, thank you.
While you say that, one of the other bards goes, Gilwyn, would you mind signing this real quick?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. And then whisks away.
Don't do that.
So after they're done doing the conversation, done checking the corners, then I'll come over and be like, "All right, you're still alive." I was worried.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. And I'll like put my hand on his shoulder and pat it.
We almost died.
Really?
When did you almost die? What did you guys get into?
Oh, nothing.
I kind of like just give him like a look, like.
He's on the way to the end, Haven.
I was told not to tell you, Amelia.
Oh no. He's
Ha!
not.
Ha!
Huh.
I feel
just, like,
bad
I
because
give-
you seem really nice.
There's a
I just
loophole.
kind of like give Melody a look.
Melody just like looks down a little sheepishly.
Tell me.
We snuck into Keep last night, trying to find Gil.
Well, we didn't find Gil. I say, because I heard what Gil said, I kind of like smiled, like, you know. I look at Gil, I'm like, but we didn't find Gil, did we? No, we didn't, Melody.
No. Ended up talking to Sparrow.
Oh yeah, there was that too.
She-
She wasn't nice.
She was angry.
But we found the door,
Oh, okay.
and the door
is angry
went.
too.
The door went like exploded without exploding.
magic.
It hurt a lot.
What did Sparrow say?
We're not invited. But don't tell Amelia.
It's fine.
Oh God.
If I'm here, you guys are here. That's the way it works.
She didn't seem that concerned about that before.
Well, if she wants Gilwyn Gallagher performing, then she's going to have to be okay with it.
Aww.
And I'll go back to tuning my lute.
You're such a good guy. Clasp. And then I'll go like wait by the curtain towards the stage and just kind of like glare out in case there's any dangers.
You glare out, and like someone who's just going into the ballroom like catches eye contact with you, and just because of your just natural they're like and scurry away.
Oh, dear.
I will go to like a production assistant or something, and be like, what's the set list time? How much am I looking at?
Well, you're set to perform all night, constantly, from beginning to end.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll turn around very fast and be like, I'm performing all night. I'm performing all night.
Show.
Sorry?
How long is the show? How long is the ball?
Almost perpetual.
But how long does it go?
One of the other people goes like, it goes until one of the higher archmages says it stops. Sometimes they last for days.
Do you need help, Gil? Melody can play with you.
If that's not against the rules, that'd be great.
Playing with someone round the back of the stage might be against the rules.
Melody's fine for me.
But Melody does have magic that can keep you awake and going.
Yeah. As long as that's not against the rules, I don't want to piss any of these guys off.
Mate, magic's not against the rules here.
Yeah, for you guys, maybe. Okay. If you don't mind, Melody, that'd be great. I'm not.
Melody just smiles and nods.
Gilwyn is not known for his endurance, shall we say?
I'm gonna go let Vale know.
All right, you relay all this to Vale. As this is happening, more people are filtering in. The ballroom is starting to get packed with the tiefling upper class, and then beyond that, like clearly people from other places who are guests here, or guests of the court for the college for a short time. It's starting to get pretty busy, and there's always a sort of rumble of speech, and the music has got louder to accompany that.
So there's one particular thing I would like to keep an eye out for. If there's none here. If a drow were to show up at all during this event, because some of them do reside here. Other than that, not really looking for anything in particular type of danger,
Actually, first of all, Amelia and Vale, if you have anything other than here's the information, I have received the information. Well, anything you need to discuss?
They'll be like, do you want a drink? Knowing full well it's free.
Already like nearly.
Want something to drink?
I will have a drink, but I'm a little concerned that this is just a setup for Gil to fail.
A setup for what, sorry?
For Gil to fail. Well, he has to complete the show in order to get his mother's key, but the show has no end time.
What?
Correct?
That's what, who was it that
So,
said back there?
what's to stop them from just continuing the ball until he can no longer perform? Do you think they have any intention of giving him the key?
Wait, I have
Are you?
I have an idea.
He's near enough that he could have. He's looking
I'm in the
out.
room.
He's looking out over the stage, more or less from the side. So seeing, like, he's a ranger. He could hear you and could run over and talk. That's absolutely okay.
I have an idea that might help win this. When we were overworked, but not allowed to fail because the consequence was too big, they would make this this thing, grind certain herbs together, and it would bring back all strength without sleep or even food. This is a place of magic. Maybe we could find a place that sells something like that, a thing that we can give him to return his strength even when his fingers are aching. He would seem to dip, but then have a recovery and keep going strong. Do you think something like that we could find here, Amelia? Something to keep him strong even when they think he should fail?
In Bastilian, yes. In the middle of this party.
We can leave the party to go find it. I mean, maybe I'm not the best person, but I'll do it if I must.
Well, we might.
Ollie, what are the chances of there like being drugs at this party?
Yeah, there's gotta be.
I was referring to lesser restoration.
I'm just saying the chance is. Honestly, you ask at the bar, it's super likely they have drugs.
I was referring to lesser restoration, not cocaine.
It's called cocainium in Jarviskjir.
Cocaine only lasts like an hour, and then you like dip. You know?
When you're gonna need a lot of cocaine.
Yeah, that's where addictions come from.
Melody can already perform something similar, yes. But that is another option.
So when you say that, I'll regard Melody once again with respect and adoration. The fact that she can do that.
Melody's hanging back with Gil. Melody is not part of this conversation.
You just look back to the stage, you know.
Okay. Well then, maybe if we can find between Melody and any other resource we can get, or any other thing we can get, maybe we can surprise them with his endurance. Because Gil may seem frail, but no, that's Vale.
God damn it.
Let's go and get a drink and something to give Gil a little boost later on as well, shall we? He says, motioning to his already empty wine glass.
Yeah.
Cool. You like go and get Gil a drink and all that stuff.
I'm not getting Gil a drink, I'm getting Gil some stimulating.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion roll, because there's definitely, like, they have stuff that can keep him awake. For sure.
Space? Use space?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Buy some death sticks? No, I don't want
It's one of these sort of things where it's like, you aren't a local here, so it's like, this is just liquor and there's some nibbles. I wouldn't worry about it, mate. Just, because one of the things about Vale, even here, it's like, he actually, weirdly enough, seems like a everyman, like a working man. So they don't assume he's a noble. But he's like, no, we don't. So, asking around like that, you're going to get in trouble. There's rooks around here, like, half the time.
I didn't think that those sorts of substances were illegal in Bastilian.
Well, it depends where you are. Typically, any kind of substance that enhances also damages. So, it's, you don't want to know the side effects of healing potions. So, they're usually frowned upon.
Right, and so is necromancy, but I'm here right now. So, is this substance or substances going to get me in serious trouble, thrown out the party?
Not thrown out. Maybe roughed up. Depends who you blow it in to.
Now, I understand that the drinks...
They're trying to speak common, it's not their first language.
I understand that the drinks here are free, but what if Ivan is going to slide 3 gold coins across the bar?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, but if anyone asks, you got it from my mate on the other side, and then sort of hands you over actually a very nice bundle of a whitish powdery herb.
Drugs.
If you ask, it's usually called Able. It's usually used as a study aid here. But also it's you actually vaguely know of it, Vale, because Sun Elves have been known to use it in its flower form, not condensing it in such a way as in potions and stuff.
Yeah, we're elves, so we sniff flowers and get high.
No, you eat it or drink it in tea, but these people smoke
will
it.
and proceed to get a refill drink and a drink for Amelia, even though she now full well knows that it's free.
But still, even a free drink, still getting someone a drink is nice.
That's still nice.
Especially when you assume what she wants, but you just probably get her the same wine you had.
I got you a tap water. It's free, but
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean it's high elven wine. Of course she wants that. She's half elven. But I won't tell her that.
Ha! Ha!
Oh boy, no.
Well, this wine tastes really nice for some reason. Half really nice. I can't work out why.
All right.
Great. So.
That's a good backup plan.
Yeah, I'm always in favor of drugging fellow party members. I mean, we probably don't even have to tell him, right?
We're not
He's just
gonna
getting
drug
really
him.
tired.
It is intended to be smoked, but like
So he
as
can't
you
just
already
pour it into
know,
his pint and be
as
like,
you
"Hey,
already
bud."
know, it does work when turned into tea or something. So if you actually had a hot drink and poured it in, that would also work. Let's just say you already know, Vale. The side effects are obviously the tiredness will catch up.
That's fine. People can get exhausted after it's done.
Yeah. Great. So actually, Haven.
Not tell Melody we're doing this.
It's not.
Haven, you said you're out on the lookout for a drow. Not particularly, but just that'd be something you would notice.
Oh god, here comes Vale's old character.
You actually do notice someone who looks very similar to a drow, an elf. Pale for a drow, but still sort of grayish, slightly purpley skin tone, wearing brilliant noble wear. It almost looks like they're wearing silver, draping all over them. They're actually upstaging a lot of the people here, which is intense, because the people here have a lot of money to spend on magical clothing. That sort of would trigger your like instincts, especially because they're a female elf. Would sort of like jolt you slightly.
So do they like? So obviously, immediately I would.
They are
come
on their
off and-
own. They are just They are entering on their own. Actually, not on their own. Hand in hand with someone who seems to be an attendant, who then leaves them, and they're on their own.
So do they actually come off as a drow? Like, do they actually seem like they are a drow?
Give me an insight roll.
Okay, cool. Because I wouldn't want to bring attention to it if I can identify.
If this is really the thing, whether Haven or not can tell the difference.
Sure. I rolled shitty.
It's you still get the feeling of there's something different, but you're reading drow. You're very much wary of this person. You're not so much like or you're just okay. There's someone who is maybe a drow.
I'm gonna keep a bead on them for the next time I encounter Vale. I don't know if he's nearby even now with all the stuff he's doing, but I want to bring that person to Vale's attention. I want Vale to go say hi.
Oh boy! Wow.
Yeah,
I want murder to happen in this ballroom.
it's one of those things where it's
a
like, you don't think that these people exist. Let me prove to you they exist.
Pretty
Sure.
elven lady, so it's either a pretty elven drow lady, so it's either going to be murder or unable to speak. There is no in between, or maybe both.
Nobody will speak of the murder.
Now I'm assuming that because this is quite actually. Before you see Vale again, the Archmages come in. Now, there are several Archmages, but of course the one that you're most paying attention to is Archmage Sparrow. They drift in. One of them you never saw enter, but now is in the chamber. That's not a surprise. These people love invisibility. They love playing little tricks. And after a few moments of that, actually the Archmage Sparrow does go to the stage and sort of claps her hands together. There's a sort of a boom of magic. But it's also such a boom of magic, it's almost like a wave of like silencing everyone else's conversations. And if you were talking, and Vale probably was, it's sort of like a pause of almost involuntarily where you can't make any sound, and then she just very quickly, and it's not even of anything that is of that consequence, it was just like, well, the ball will now begin. I have prepared quite the entertainment for the evening. There's a little bit more conversation, mostly in Infernal. It's not anything of real. It's just what people say at the beginning of a ball, and then the music festivities properly begin. A bunch of small globes of light drift over above everyone in the hall, lighting everywhere in sparks of different color. They give almost like a mottled mood light to the whole place. That they very slowly change color, not like a rave. And Gilwyn is brought to the stage.
Just before Gil is brought up, Melody just touches his arm and says, "Good luck," and enhance ability.
Strikes his arm.
Charisma?
Eagle Splendor, yeah.
Great. That is a good idea.
That is a good idea.
I'll give her a big old cuddle
Yeah.
and then go on stage.
Alright. You go on stage and there's like almost, of course people are talking, but because you're the first person there and you're gonna be there a whole long time, but you know people are gonna sort of rotate around you. You're the main event. There's a lot of people who stop what they're saying or doing to look at you. And it's probably the biggest crowd you've ever performed before.
It's okay. It's okay.
Actually, it easily is now I think about it.
You're the best around.
You're not a bard, you don't get to do that.
Take you down.
Only bards get to do that.
I just did it though.
No.
Yours was in a
Redacted.
Delete that portion of the VOD.
It's just gonna be like a weird glitch.
And it followed by Ollie saying you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah!
Hey, Dean,
Oh.
you're not allowed to do that. No!
Shadowrun win.
Hello, everybody. I'm pleased to be here tonight, and I'm pleased to be the entertainment for the foreseeable future. Wait for a laugh.
There's actually give me a charisma roll.
Dale's gonna laugh really loudly.
Just straight charisma, yeah?
I know that
You have
guy.
advantage because of my
Yep.
thing.
TY, baby.
He doesn't really find it that funny.
There's a couple. There's sort of like a like a couple of brief shots, and then they're like ha! Which is very
Okay.
funny to me, at the very least.
Saving the good rolls for the performance roll.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, totally.
I'll begin with a slow and soft instrumental, just to set the tone.
Yeah, yeah. As you start performing, people get back to what they were discussing. You quickly go back into being background noise.
That's okay for now.
Cool. Do tell me at any point if you want to draw attention and like really do a rockin' solo or something, or talk. But for the most part, I'm just going to assume you're just going to be going.
Drumming away.
Now it's a little bit after that where Haven is suggested to leave the back of the stage. But he can go behind things so he doesn't like disturb. But that's when you can meet back up with Vale and Amelia and Melody, and well, Melody would come with you, I guess.
Hey, look what's over there, Vale.
What? I don't.
Is that what you do?
Well, I would point it out, but let's not interrupt Dean's performance.
Dean is performing in the background right now.
Okay. All right.
He is
So I was
he is background noise.
I don't. What?
right there.
Just pointing through people.
What is?
Can you really not see them?
The lighting's a little weird.
I mean, yeah.
Reach down,
Like,
grab by like the
like
upper
headlight.
thighs, and then like straighten up so he's like head and shoulders above everybody.
It looks.
Neil,
It's
Vale
a moon
looks like a moon elf to you. Yeah.
Look at that. it's a moon elf.
Put you back down.
Which is weird.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's not one? Hold on, I'll go check.
Well, I'll come too. I've not really spoken to a moon elf in. I don't know how long. He glances, like side glance at Amelia.
I'm gonna go ask around about these balls and how they function and how long they usually last and if there's usually only one musician.
I will add there's not only one musician. Gilwyn is just clearly the main event.
Okay.
There
Melody
are supporting
following,
musicians who
Gotcha.
are going to cycle back and forth. Like how there was always performers going on. He's just
Gotcha.
the star.
So I'm just gonna go collect
very
information
uncomfortable.
about this process.
Cool.
And probably bring Melody along.
Yeah. You split into 2 groups, and then
I
there's
mean, I
Gil
imagine this is
working.
busy enough that it triggers my disadvantage.
Yeah, it's busy enough that you feel.
But I'm
very
I'm
uncomfortable.
sticking very close to Amelia.
So, you know what? I'll actually just stray real quick. Amelia, you easily gather information that these performances rarely go longer than a night. They sometimes push an extra day, but that's usually prepared in advance. Not that the college is going to tell anyone, but they prepare in advance if something's going to go longer. And you'd ask, and people are like, no, this is just a regular ball, you know. And they like look at Gil and it's like, it doesn't seem like anything special and stuff like that. You know, clearly there's an extra level of extravagance that happens if for some other reason.
Gotcha.
Like the last time, like for New Year's, they had a week-long party.
I will get louder and louder and begin my first proper song, The Dwarf of Stone.
Go ahead and give me a performance roll with advantage, friend.
Or just sing it.
You can't throw that at a man.
Dwarf of stone, dwarf of stone.
There you go. That's for 3 minutes.
That's a high-pitched voice for a dwarf song.
It's supposed to put you on
raptures
edge,
the
much
entire.
like
Yeah, what is the tone of this song?
Melancholy, minor tuning, minor key rather. It begins with like, meeting a dwarf who's really just a man, like stone heart, no emotions, and it ends with this person giving his life as he crumbles to dust.
You absolutely capture the room with this. It's one of the things where the people are like, nothing special. And then when you actually start singing, very quickly, people are just turning and completely focused on you. Like everyone in the room. Even if some people who actually, they look and then they go back to their conversations, for at least a moment there, is watching you and is feeling this performance. And you actually almost feel the energy in the room change from the jovial of... Well, it never was quite like a sort of frattish party, I guess, but it was sort of from a meet and greet to a sort of... There's a much lower energy in the room now as you play that song. And you realize that as his main performer, you can pretty much manipulate everyone. And that's actually where we're going to take our first break. My, how the time flies! And then we'll be back.
Having things.
Oh, yeah. That.
We're going to be back in a couple of minutes. Maybe these guys will think of some funny jokes by then.
Freeze frame.